Push against my hand.
Yep.
There we go. So this is abduction. So impersonatus. Adduction. Teres minor. Relax. That abduction. Push against. Yeah. I was confused. There's my supraspinatus and relax. So fist down. Push against supraspinatus. And prevent her arm from moving in. Infra and teres. So scapularis. So what is my, or what should my myofascial release be?
Skin rolling.
Skin roll.
Pincer compression, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. So if this is too sensitive, is this comfortable for you? She was in skin rolling. You can like pick up and hold like a diamondy shape. And it's like you're kneading dough. Just kind of lift. And post.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. It was like our first day of NMT.
Okay. I'm okay with skin rolling.
Yeah, that feels much better.
Find areas of tension. Pause. Hold. You can sit for the majority of this routine if you want. Everybody's like, skin roll. She's already looking. Pincer compression on the traps. Traps isn't for a few weeks, but I need to get through the traps in order to treat supraspinatus. And traps also runs at an angle, so a little infra too. So just pinch and hold, just grabbing, squeezing on her traps like this, ever so slightly. I'm kind of peeling them like I'm going to peel an orange outward. Just be mindful of compressing on anterior neck stuff. How's this, Em?
Oh, it feels awesome.
Pinch and hold. And hold up to a minute. If your thumb starts to get tired, you can kind of just like meat hook it as well. Same concept. I'm just kind of squeezing like this, and I'm ever so slightly unrolling her traps as well. Gives my thumb a break. Is that still comfortable for you? Now it keeps skin rolling, soften everything. Alright, arm hanging off the table. I'm going to grab on to this side of her axilla, which is going to be teres major, teres minor, latissimus dorsi. Just going to grab and hold on to this whole area. Comfy. Will you give me a tiny scoop? I already have Emily on my hands. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. I'm just doing some deep stripping effleurages all along the scapula. If their shoulder is very adhered, Emily's got good range of motion. You can grab onto this deltoid and hold, compress. Soften it up before you get to these rotator cuff attachments, just like we were softening up traps.
Is it just if they're tight or no matter what?
Mainly just if they're tight. If you got 2 hours and they want an hour on one shoulder, why not? In treatment, you're more than likely going to hit that deltoid too, because deltoid performs all actions of the shoulder except adduction. So everything else, just like glute medius. Do you feel all that?
Yeah, it's super spicy.
Is this pressure comfortable for you?
Mm-hmm.
Would you do me a favor? In that bookcase in the bottom, you're gonna find a grid all rolled up. Can you set it up while we're doing our demo?
Yep.
If you need to put heavy stuff on the bottom so it doesn't curl up, just slap some clay on there. Just in the bottom corner, do you know? Do you know where to hook it?
That one over there?
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Take my deep stripping effleurages along the top here for that supraspinatus. I'll do my thumb on my outside hand. I'll do fingers on the inside hand. I can do an open fist. Comfortable?
Right now you're working supras.
I'm just effleuraging the whole thing. So I did a little infraspinatus and teres minor. I'm just doing some supra. I'm gonna go back and forth.
And do you want all your strokes to be going towards the midline like that?
I can go out a little bit, but the deeper pressure ones are going in. Then we can trigger point compress. No, you can't use fingers or thumb. Use a fist. Use an elbow. You ready?
Oh Lord, sure.
How's that? I got you.
Are you able to find it with your forearm?
Takes practice, but yeah, absolutely. Anybody can. This isn't a special Tory trick. If you are using forearm and elbow, ditch the stool, because you really need that. Otherwise, you'll be on the table next. If you use your forearm and your elbow, it's just, you know. I felt that one. Deep breath in.
Oh yeah.
Too much? We're good.
It's perfect.
Can you do me a favor? Just straighten your arm.
Like,
Nope. Straight out.
like that.
And relax. Okay. How's triceps? So you got a little taste of a few weeks. So triceps runs along this posterior arm here, and it attaches below to the glenoid fossa. The supraglenoid tubercle is biceps. The infra below is triceps. I just felt a tight tendon. It could have been any of the rotator cuff muscles. Might have been triceps. I wasn't sure. So as I'm compressing on it, I had her just straighten her arm, extend her elbow, because triceps does elbow extension and shoulder extension. It contracted, came up under my fingers, and I'm like, oh, that's not what we're working today. But you're welcome anyway. So if you're unsure what you're on, just activate. So now, I'm on either teres major or minor. So if I wanted to figure out if it was, which one it was, let's say I wanted to activate minor, what would I have her do? Laterally rotate. And relax. It is minor. To make it even easier, just have her swing like that. Or for medial, swing like that. So we can do a little active release. Go ahead and swing forward and back, and forward and back. And one more time, forward and then to neutral. Same thing on infraspinatus. breath in. Exhale, and go ahead and swing your arm forward. Woo. And then this time you're going to go to neutral and relax. Okay, good job. I would not make her do that with my elbow.
Thank you.
in her muscle. That'd be too much. But fingers, yeah. Supraspinatus, have the arm by the side in neutral, because this is abduction. Nice and neutral. You can do a good broad compression with your forearm. Just the whole thing right on top. Right. A lot of times I go back and forth, so I'm not just hitting one muscle and overdoing it and then moving on. I'm just kind of keeps the brain also from anticipating patterns of where you're going to be. Some spicy supras.
Can you feel going under the trap into the super?
I'm just straight through it.
Okay.
But yeah, I can feel all she's got going on there. Elevators, NMT. Keep on keeping on. We got one more muscle to hit. Good old subscapularis. So you can access this the same way we did serratus anterior. It's comfortable for you. So pops right up. Hook my fingers under. I get a lot of subscapularis under here. And I'm just hooked my fingers and I'm pressing up into the scapula. Just running along. You can put an elbow in if you need. Deep breath in. Since she's already popped up, we'll do a little friction. And remember, this is a very abbreviated demo.
Is everyone's scapula able to get up that high?
Ideally, yeah, but no. And some people, their latissimus dorsi actually attaches to the inferior angle. So if you have somebody who you absolutely cannot pop up, that's probably what's going on, no matter how much they do and you do. So that is the medial border. One way to get the lateral border. I'm going through the armpit this way. My hand under the head of her humerus, and what I'm going to do is actually like kind of pull with that hand. It kind of pulls the scapula out. With my thumb, I'm going up and under. I'm behind teres minor, major, infraspinatus. I've gone in and under them, just like we did to get pec minor. We went in and under pec major. And I'm on the underside. I'm actually touching her scapula. Doing all right? And use thumb, but just be mindful of your wrist. And try and use fingers. Make sure, again, be mindful of your wrist.
You're touching your scapula from the anterior side?
Mm-hmm. I'm can also do this face up. And I friction what I needed to. Oh, friction along the spine of the scapula. There's fascia there. Why not? A little linear friction. Let's hit this subscap face up.
Pin you down on this and there, but, yes, catch on this material for that.
How's that? I gotta go that side now. How's it going? So, face up just like this. That same little grab we did, I can do the same. So all I've done, that posterior border chunk for her axilla, I can grab on here too. It's actually a little bit easier to access. I need to soften it up anymore. To get to subscapularis, I go in and just down onto the scapula. Kind of brought it out to make it easier for me to locate, but I bring the arm back in adduction, neutral adduction. Now I'm really on that. And instead of me trying to like hook up and under to hit it, this I can stand. I can put a lot of leverage and gravity behind it.
And where do you know?
Yeah.
Where do you know where to insert? It's lower than the pec minor, correct?
So, pec
I feel
minor,
like it's like up more.
I'm gonna
right?
go up the rib cage
Mhm.
under pec major. I'm going down. You can feel the bone. You
You're
can
like
feel
in the
scapula.
armpit.
Yes. So, got pec major
Mm-hmm.
coming out here. Got lats minor, all that. And you can feel like the muscles, like the border.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go in, where there's no muscle, just space.
Okay.
You know, arteries, veins. That's too important. It's fine. It's fine. Nerves. Go in by the meaty side. And then down. If I go straight in, I'll feel her ribs. If I go down, I find her scapula. Is it uncomfortable at all? Being in your armpit?
A little bit, but not past that threshold.
It's not your favorite routine ever?
No, just because that right side is. I had you working on it for a reason.
Can you push against my hand? Internal rotation. And relax on an exhale. Inhale and push. I feel relaxed.
But
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm hanging in.
Little active release. It's easier to do face up. You can do it face down, but you're already like trying to hook places. So active release it. And then kind of calm the area down. What would my stretches be? Well, that scapula pop-up could be one. When we did last week,
Mm-hmm.
we kind of gently pushed on their elbow. Same thing we do in Swedish. So, for this one, external rotation stretches the subscapularis. She's got great range of motion. Internal rotation stretches the infraspinatus. Also pins down here. All traction's nice. Frictioning, it's gonna be a little bit difficult to access. Lesser tubercles in the front, greater tubercles more lateral, and you'll be able to feel in between. So here's her biceps tendon. That's the dividing factor. It sits in the bicipital groove. And if you're like, I think this is the biceps tendon, can you push against my hand and flex your elbow? And relax. Biceps flexes the elbow and the shoulder, so the tendon comes up. I know where I'm at. So we're just gonna friction that area. A little circular friction. You're gonna hit pec major too. Remember, pec major just comes and is right on top of all this stuff. In an ideal treatment, somebody's gonna come in, even if they have all those rotator cuff issues we were just talking about, I'm gonna wanna hit their deltoid a little bit and a little bit of pec, even if it's just compression to like kind of soften up this area so I can better access the attachment sites. It's all gonna depend on how much time I have with the person and what's really going on in their shoulder once I get in there. If I get in there and I'm like, well, your rotator cuff's fine, let's maybe spend a little bit more time on your pec to see what's up there. Questions?